What the flip is up, guys? It's your girl Brooke Nicole, and this is my life through a camera lens.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
So thank you guys so much for clicking on today's video. I'm very excited. This is a long awaited, or I should say long overdue video. My daughter's first birthday was almost 2 months ago, so I'm a little behind. So I actually originally planned on vlogging, but when it came down to it, I knew that the day itself was gonna be very busy. I really wanted to make sure that I was able to be in the moment and I would be able to socialize with everyone and just really enjoy myself, but also be on top of things for the party. I knew that vlogging was kind of unrealistic. I opted to hire someone to film / photograph the party for me. Long story short, we had everything planned out. I sent her a list of everything that I wanted to do and the time slots I was planning on doing them. She agreed to them. She told me it was good. And yeah, she ghosted me the day of the party. She literally just would not respond to any of my messages. She never showed up, and still to this day she still has not responded to me. So I didn't get any footage from the party itself. I actually ended up forgetting my camera, but because she was coming I wasn't worried about it. Be careful when hiring a photographer. Yeah, not a very good experience, but even though it didn't quite turn out how I expected, I still wanted to make a video for you guys because planning a first birthday party is no joke, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. So I'm really hoping this video is beneficial to you new moms out there, or if you're planning a birthday party and you never have. Learn from my mistakes, because I made a few of them. So I'm gonna go over and break down every little thing I did to plan Charlie's first birthday party. My best tips that I came up with when planning the party. I'll go over just how much I spent on the entire party. I'll share where everything's from, how I DIY'd some of the projects that I did for the party, how I came up with a theme, how I created her birthday party invitations. I'll share everything with you guys, all the way down to who I used for her birthday cake. But I do want to make it known right now that I am not a professional party planner, as you guys will soon find out. So what worked best for me might not work for you, and that's okay. I just want to share with you guys what all I did to prepare for her party and what I did to make it come to life. And as always, I will make sure to link everything that I mentioned in today's video in the description box below for you guys. Y'all buckle up, because here we go. Planning a first birthday party is not quite what I expected. Not only have I never planned a first birthday party before, but I've never planned a party in general before, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into. One of the first things that I'm glad that I did is I actually started planning this party way in advance, and I'm so thankful that I did. I started planning Charlie's party 3 to 4 months out, and honestly I probably could have started planning it even sooner, but if I could give you any advice, it would be to start planning the party as soon as you possibly can. It's just already such a stressful process, so giving yourself time is crucial and it's very beneficial. Not to mention, it's a lot easier to afford things when you plan farther out in advance. You can save up and purchase things as you go instead of having to wait until last minute and buying it all at once. That's just a huge chunk of money to put forth all at once, when you can just slowly do it as you go and save as you go, so you can get the things that you really want and you don't have to sacrifice anything, you know? And another plus about planning early is if you have DIY projects that you want to do for the party, you have plenty of time to take care of them and complete the projects that you want to do. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's just start from the very beginning. The very first thing that I did when starting to plan Charlie's party was writing out a detailed plan. This was crucial. I am a sucker for notes, and I am a very visual person, so I need to write it down and see it, or I will completely brain dump it and forget everything that I came up with. So the first thing that I did was I wrote out a plan / outline for what I wanted to happen, and I just wrote it out in the notes app that's on my phone. It was just something that I could use as a reference throughout the upcoming months that I had ahead of me when planning the party. And when I say I wrote down everything, I mean I wrote down everything. And honestly, it was a huge lifesaver, and it came in clutch so many times. I can't tell y'all how many times throughout this process I went back to this note section, y'all. So the first few things that I wanted to nail down was the day that I wanted to have the actual party on and where I wanted to have the party, so the location. And this is pretty important to figure out pretty early on, just in case you're wanting to book a place for the actual location of the party. I luckily was able to have it at a family member's house, so it wasn't like it was gonna get booked up too quick. But I do know several friends that were having their children's first birthday parties the same time, and they waited too late, and all of the places that they wanted to rent out for the day booked up really quickly. early. I would figure that out as soon as possible. And then once I nailed those two things down, I came up with a time that I wanted to have the party. And I just went off of the current nap schedule that Charlie was on at the time, because I wanted her to be able to enjoy herself at the party and not be completely miserable and tired during the actual party. Now, I might have gone a little overboard with this next step, but I planned out and wrote down every detail of the party itself. To give you a reference of what I mean by this, I wanted the party to be from 11 to 2. So I wrote down that everybody would arrive between 11 to 12, and then from 12 to 12:45, everybody would eat, and then from 12:45 to 1, we would open presents, and then from 1 to 1:30, we would do the cake, and then from 1:30 to 2, everybody would kind of mingle until the party was over. Now, it was completely okay if things did not go exactly by that order, but I wanted to give myself a general outline to kind of keep things in line for me. It was all for me. It just made the day so seamless and so easy. It wasn't stressful. I didn't have to constantly think about what I needed to do next. Like, I already had a plan. I already knew what I wanted to do, and it just made it flow very nicely. And then after that, I just wrote down everything that I needed for the party itself. So everything I needed for the DIY projects I wanted to do, everything that I wanted to order for the party, like cakes and cookies, stuff like that, the food ideas that I wanted, and then all of the actual items that I needed to make said food, all the way down to the presents that I wanted to buy Charlie. This way, every time I did anything regarding the party itself, I could check it off as I went. I knew exactly what I still needed to get and do for the party and what all had already been purchased. It was all right there for me to look back on anytime I needed to. It was a brilliant idea, in my opinion. It legit helped me out so much, and I looked back on this note 1,000,001 times. And since I'm referring to notes right now, I will say that I ended up making a separate note for everyone that I was inviting to the party. So I wrote down all the adults that I was inviting to the party, and then I wrote down how many kids were coming and how many of the kids were little girls and how many were little boys. But I'll explain why I did this a little later on in the video. And then once I had a general idea of the location, time, and theme of the party, I went and I made a birthday invitation. You don't have to do this. I made it myself. It was completely free. It was just something fun and cute I wanted to do. Here I'll insert the birthday invitation that I made. It's very simple, very easy to make. I just wanted to make something a little cute that had all the information on it, just in case anyone needed it, but it was also kind of for me too. I just thought it was a fun little thing to add. And then I went and I made a Facebook group or event for the party itself, and I posted the birthday invitation into said event. That way people could go back and look on it anytime they needed to if they had any questions or couldn't remember when or where something was. It was all right there. And now for the fun part, coming up with a theme. I looked through so many different first birthday party themes, and I watched countless YouTube videos on this matter because I had no idea what I wanted and what I wanted to do. I will say that Pinterest became my absolute best friend. I was on Pinterest day in and day out. Here are some of the inspiration photos that I came up with for the party, and I will say that some of these photos, I just like the general idea of the photo or maybe the color scheme of it, but some of the photos I was adamant about having that exact thing at the party. But this is the general idea and inspiration that I had when planning her party. So once I nailed down the theme of the party, then it was kind of time to come up with a color scheme. We used a lot of natural, woodsy, neutral colors. The color scheme was blush, cream, white, and peach with like pops of greenery throughout. And I actually made myself a mini vision board for multiple reasons. One, I wanted to have something to kind of look back on that I could reference, but I also was getting a little bit of help from my sister-in-law and my mother. So I wanted to make a little mini vision board that I could send to them so they would know exactly what it was that I was referring to, exactly the kind of look that I was going for. So it made it a lot easier for them as well. So this is the vision board that I made for them, and they were just able to understand my vision a little better. Yeah. I want to make sure that I'm able to make this video easy to follow. I just don't want to jump all over the place and confuse you guys, so just bear with me. But next I'll talk about the DIY projects I did, and then I'll get into the decor pieces that I used for the actual party. The first DIY project that I worked on was a large foam mosaic #1 balloon sign. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I think. I found a video from Craftabilities on YouTube, and the woman who created this video was so sweet. She actually sent me the PDF file that I needed in order to create this #1 sign for free. I won't get into too much detail here about how I made the number sign because her video explains everything. It's very easy to follow. Everything that you need for the sign itself was very cheap, but I will make sure that I link everything that I purchased in order to make the sign down below for you guys. But yeah, her video goes over everything. So it'll be in the description box below. So the next project that I wanted to tackle was the flower crowns that I was making for the little girls. And this is why I needed to write out the invitation list and know how many little girls were coming and how many little boys were coming. Because when I created the Facebook group and sent out the birthday invitation, I made it known that flower crowns and wings for the little girls were going to be included. It was just a fun little touch that I wanted to do. And like you'll see later on, I was actually going to use these for a decor piece as well. I'll explain later, but I wasn't about to ask everyone to purchase their own wings for the party, but I mean, I felt like it kind of made the party, seeing how it was a fairies only theme. So I bought a 6-pack of pink fairy wings off of Amazon for $20. They were super cheap and they fit the kiddos perfectly. And the ones that I got also came in a ton of different colors, so you don't have to have pink if you don't want to. And then when the little girls went home, I let them take home and keep the flower crowns and the wings, so it worked out perfect. So since the wings were all the same, the flower crowns that I made each individual flower crown completely different from another. So no one had the exact same flower crown. They all had their own individual unique ones. I watched several different YouTube videos on how to make flower crowns. I even read a couple blogs off of Pinterest. So again, I'll link all of that below for you guys. But I ended up getting most of the items for the flower crowns from Michael's. But I will say that if you go to the dollar store or Dollar Tree, you can get a lot of the fake flowers there for so much cheaper. Again, I'll list all of the items that I purchased to make the flower crowns, the videos that I watched, and the blogs that I read down below for you guys if y'all want to know just how I made her flower crowns. But definitely give yourself time to make these because they can be very time consuming, especially when you have a child, you know, and you're trying to do this at the same time. Yeah. The next project was actually a last minute decision, and it's kind of all thanks to my mom. Since I was doing flower crowns and wings for the little girls, I knew that I wanted to do something to include the little boys that were coming in. And I had mentioned to my mom that I thought having little Peter Pan hats would be cute, but I didn't want to buy them. And all the ones that I kept finding were really expensive. And my mom found a video on YouTube. Again, it's linked below. And we made little boy Peter Pan hats. It was so easy and so stinking cheap, you guys. It took us no time at all. It was a super cute little touch. I will say I wanted to still stick to the color scheme of the party, so I didn't want to do the traditional green hat, red feather. So instead we went with an orange hat and a white feather. I'll let you guys decide, but I thought it was the cutest little touch. It literally was the little felt pieces from Walmart that are like 77 cents, and then you just hot glue them together. Mind blown. And like I mentioned earlier about some of the inspiration photos, how there was some stuff in some of the photos that I had to have, this next project was one of them. I came across this photo on Pinterest. I saw a wooden fairies only sign and I had to have it. It was a must for me. It was like the staple decor piece of the entire party. And I knew that this was gonna be a Danny task because I'm not good with woodworking. And luckily, Danny is very handy when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I basically gave him the picture and I was like, hey, this is what I want. I need you to make it happen for me. And he went to work. He did an amazing job. I will say he made a few touches to the sign that weren't in the original photo, and I'm completely okay with. I actually liked the way that his turned out a little better than the other one. I just thought it was a really cool idea and it was just perfect. So that was all for like the DIY projects that I did. And then the next task at hand was food. I wanted to nail down the meal that we were going to do for the party. We wanted to keep the food options for the party simple, but still have it be something that everyone would want, but also something that was inexpensive and easy for us to make large amounts of. So we went with the taco theme. I know it doesn't quite fit the fairy theme, but that's okay. We just made tacos. We had chicken and beef for the meat options, and then we laid everything else out on the table for the guests to grab and go as they wanted. A cute touch that I'm so happy that we ended up doing, we actually named the foods different things that went along with the fairy themes. So my best friend and I sat down at the table and we came up with the most random and ridiculous names for the food, but it was so stinking cute. So I'll give you guys some examples of like what we named the foods. So the tortillas, we named lily pads. The hard shell tacos, we named enchanted drawbridge. The chicken was shredded frog, which y'all, one of the guests thought it was legit shredded frog, and I could not stop laughing because that is a Brooklyn thing. I was like, girl, no, that's chicken. Oh, it was awesome. The beef was ground toadstool. The chips were gnome hats. The shredded cheese was fairy dust. Tomatoes were just garden tomatoes. The sour cream we called charming cottage. The lettuce we just called moss. And then the salsa we just called elf stew. I just thought it was so cute. It was such a neat little touch. I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. And then even though this didn't really go with the taco theme, I also purchased a butterfly cookie cutter off of Amazon for a couple bucks. And I made some finger sandwiches for the kids. And then drink-wise, we just had soda, water. We had unsweet and sweet tea. And then for the kiddos, we also bought some little juice boxes. Okay, and now I'll share all of the decor pieces that I got for the party. First things first, of course, like I mentioned, the Fairies only sign. It was the big statement piece, if you will. And then the next item was a clothing rack. I just got this clothing rack for $10 at IKEA. And then I hung the wings and the flower crowns up on the clothing rack. And I also made little goodie bags or treat bags for the kids to take when they left the party. And I just put those at the bottom of the clothing rack, and I put all of the little boys' hats on top of the gift bags. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the foam #1 sign was a decor piece, and we just filled that with balloons and put that off to the side. So for balloons, I purchased all of the balloons from Party City. I just got several different bags of several different sizes. Again, homegirl lists that in the video. If you watch how to make the foam sign itself, she tells you all the sizes that she uses. And then I also wanted to get a large balloon to fill up with helium to put beside Charlie's high chair for when she did her cake. I would highly recommend spending the extra shekels and purchasing a balloon air pump, because trying to blow up balloons is exhausting and so freaking time consuming. But not only does it take time to blow up balloons by mouth. To change some of the colors in the Mosaic sign, we actually took 2 different color balloons and put one inside of the other, and trying to blow up a double balloon by mouth is almost impossible. So just save yourself the hassle. Spend the extra shekels, get you a balloon air pump. Trust me, you will thank me later. And then I got some vine garland. I actually found this really pretty vine garland at the dollar section at Target. And at the time that I found them, I had no idea what I was gonna use them for, but I just purchased them because I thought they would go perfect with the party theme. We put some of the garland on the food table, and then I actually took one of the garland pieces and I wrapped it around the clothing rack with the wings, and I think that that just topped it off. It just made it look 10 times better. It just added that finishing touch to it that I think it needed. And then I found a separate vine garland from Michael's when I purchased all of the flowers and items for the flower crown project that I did, and I tied that garland around the large balloon that I was just talking about. That way it tied it into the party. That way there wasn't just like a long random string. I just thought it looked cuter that way. Bought that and put it on the balloon. Then at Target I found a table runner. It was like a burlap table runner, and I just put it across the food table and then put the decor pieces and the food on top of it. And then another thing that I purchased with the table runner is I found this fake moss in the dollar section at Target, and at the time I had no idea what I was gonna use it for, but I got it because it went along with the theme. And then when I was browsing through IKEA one day, I found some vases and flowers that I purchased to go on the tabletops, and I just took some of that fake moss and I put it into some of the vases, and it just kind of added that little flair, that little touch. And the next thing that I did, I don't know if this is really a decor piece. I feel like all first birthdays have it. It's the monthly photos that are displayed, and not that there's anything wrong with this, but I knew that I didn't want to do the traditional string where you hang up the photos or make like a board with like the photos plastered on it. I just wanted to do something a little different and something that I haven't personally ever seen before. I'm sure a million people have done this, but I personally don't know anyone who has. I'm a sucker for thrift shopping, and on our fireplace mantle in our living room, I actually have a bunch of random picture frames that are all different sizes and all different colors. So I thought it would be really cool if I put her monthly photos in different individual picture frames that were all different sizes and different colors. And I just put it on this really pretty wooden piece that my dad had, and that also was the place that everyone put the present. So it was really cool because as they set the present down, they got to kind of glance through the photos, and I just did her newborn photo all the way to 12 months. It was a really cute decor piece that went really well with the party, but it was also something different that I had never seen before. So that's what we ended up doing for her monthly photos. And these picture frames, a lot of them I thrifted and or I got from the dollar store, so I can't necessarily link them below for you guys, but there are so many options at Walmart, Target, TJ Maxx, the dollar store, thrift store. So I found these super cute place card holders on Amazon, and they went with the theme perfectly. They were just like these little wooden log pieces with like this little cardboard card, and it was just perfect. So I took the place card holders and I labeled all of the food and just set them out throughout the tables. So not only did it label the food, but it was also like cute little decor pieces that added like random pops of color throughout the table too. And then I found this super cute set of random things at Walmart that had a lot of utensil holders that I ended up getting. So I got these 2 big buckets that I actually ended up putting the ice and the drinks in. I got 2 mason jars that I put the unsweet and sweet tea in. And I got this really cute like napkin / utensil holder. Just stuff like that. It was like cute little things to put the drinks and stuff in. And then with the napkin / utensil holder that I got, I just used some leftover flowers that we had from making the flower crowns, and my mom and or Jessica, I can't remember who it was, someone just hot glued it around the napkin / utensil holder. And when I was at IKEA, I actually found 2 more napkin holders that were gorgeous, and I just had to have them. So I bought 2 more, just put them throughout the tables. And then my best friend actually came into town for Charlie's party, and she bought these wooden wands. I think she got them from Michael's, and she painted them all different colors, and I just thought they were the cutest things. So we laid them out as not only decor pieces, but for the kids to play with too, so it kind of acted as both. I don't know, I just thought it was so sweet of her to do that, and it was such a cute little touch. And then all of the food utensils that I got from Party City. I would highly recommend doing this because it was very inexpensive, and I got everything that I needed from there. So I got bowls for the chips, bowls for the meat. I got a container for like the lettuce and the tomatoes and the cheese. I got little tongs for the salad. All of that I got from Party City, along with a cake holder. And then at Target, I found some table covers and table cover clips. And I just got 2 table covers to put on top of the tables. I think we had an 8-foot table and a 12-foot table that my dad had. So we just put the table covers on that, and we put the food and stuff on top of those. But I will say, I highly recommend getting the table cover clips. I didn't even think about it, but they happened to be sitting right there when I grabbed the table cover, and I just grabbed them because I figured why not. And I didn't even realize how windy it was outside, but when we put the table covers on, those suckers started flying off. So it was nice to have them to be able to kind of strap those suckers down, so you know, food and stuff didn't go flying everywhere. And then I found these really pretty wooden hangers at IKEA, and I just bought those because they were very aesthetically pleasing for me to use to put the wings and the flower crowns on the clothing rack with. And then I actually took leftover cards that I had from the place card holders, and I wrote all of the little girls' names on their own card, and I put the card with a pair of wings and a flower crown. When the little girl showed up to the party, they would go grab the wings that had their name on it and just take them. Chickens are going crazy, sorry about that. But that way I didn't have to worry about anyone fighting or disagreeing over which flower crown they wanted. It was grab and go. And then I bought this really cute like happy first birthday sign that you hang up. It's like a banner. Had no intentions of getting it. I found it when I was walking through Party City, and I just grabbed it and I just hung it up. It was just kind of like the back main focal point of the party. It was cute. And then I purchased this #1 sign for her birthday cake, and my idiot self forgot all about it, and I didn't even use it, but it just spelled out 1 in really pretty like cursive gold letters. It's a cake topper. I bought it off the Amazon for a couple bucks, and I completely forgot to use it. That's okay, we're gonna keep moving on. And then another decor piece that I had was her high chair, but I forgot her high chair at home. Again, make lists, people, make lists. I forgot my camera and the high chair. So we ended up just taking one of the table covers off of the table after we were done with eating food, and we put it on the ground, and she ended up just doing her smash cake on that. And honestly, I love the way it worked out. It was super easy to clean up the mess, but I was a little bummed. I wanted the cute artsy photo with her in the high chair with the big balloon that I just had to have. That's okay, it's okay. And the last thing that I did, I wouldn't really say this is decor for the party, but something that I did that I feel like is a little different than most people do. Instead of having people bring Charlie a birthday card, I asked them that they brought a book instead, because I'm a sucker for keeping birthday cards. Hear me out. They're expensive as crap, okay? So I feel super guilty when people give me a birthday card and I just throw it away. But let's be real, I read it moment of, and then I never look at it again. So I have this pile of birthday cards that just sit and take up space in the house, and I didn't want to deal with the guilt of throwing away her first birthday cards, and I wanted her to eventually be able to read them one day. People just got her a book instead, and they could just write in the book. This way, when she gets older, she can read it, and the books will go to use. Homegirl loves books and loves to read, so it was just a nice way to kind of add to her book collection, her library, if you will. If your kid is interested in books, I thought that was a really fun, cute way to incorporate books into the party. I don't know. And then the last thing that I purchased for the party was a cake and cookies. Now, I am in no way saying that you need to go out and spend money on a birthday cake. Now, if you want to, by all means, go for it. But you are perfectly capable of making your own birthday cake at home if you want. My best friend did it for her son's first birthday. I am not a baker. I'm not good at that stuff. I already know that. But not only that, I knew that I was going to be stressed out in dealing with a million other things for the party. The last thing that I wanted to do was add another thing to my plate and have to worry about baking a freaking cake the day of her party. So one of my mom's friends actually owns a cake shop. I messaged her and she helped me out. And when I say that these are the best cakes I've ever had in my entire life, I mean that with every fiber of my being. If you are in the Jacksonville area and you are in need of a cake, I highly recommend that you go to Jennifer at Jennifer's Little Cake Shop. You will not be disappointed, mark my words. You can just go and thank me now. I sent Miss Jennifer a reference photo of some of the cakes that I wanted. Yes, people kept saying, oh my gosh, Brooke, that looks like a wedding cake. It was, and one day, in the future, if I'm ever lucky enough to get married, this is the kind of cake that I want. I love the look of the exposed cake. I think it's so pretty. Plus, it was a win because it wasn't as much icing on the cake for Charlie to consume, you know? It was aesthetically pleasing, okay, and she wasn't jacked up on a sugar high. It was a win-win. I got 2 separate cakes, and the reason that I got 2 cakes is because I wanted people to be able to enjoy cake if they wanted to eat cake. I mean, you're at a birthday party, who doesn't want to eat cake? But I knew that no one was gonna want to indulge in cake after, you know, it was used for a smash cake, and I don't blame people. So yeah, I just got 2 separate cakes. I got one for everyone if they wanted a slice of cake, but then I also got a smash cake for Charlie so she could do her thing, and boy did she do her thing. And I also wanted to add like one more thing, like decor-wise, because of the reference photos and the inspiration photos that I found on Pinterest. They were all decked out with all the food and the decor. It just looked really cute. So I wanted to get decorative cookies. I went with this amazing woman. She owns Sunkissed Sweet Shop, and it was the cutest darn cookies I've ever seen in my life. She nailed what I wanted. I just sent her a reference photo of the cookies that I liked that I found online, and I only purchased a dozen cookies. You get to pick 3 different shapes, and I want to say my reference photo had like 5 or 6 different cookies. I just picked the 3 ones that I wanted for the party, and she hit the nail on the head. This is the reference photo that I gave her, and these are the cookies that she sent me. Y'all, really? So freaking worth it. And they were so yummy. They went so fast. Immediately after setting them out, they were gone. It was crazy. And the final thing that I'll discuss is Charlie's outfit that I purchased for the party. I found this adorable dress from a site called PATPAT. This video is not sponsored, but if you don't know what PATPAT is, it's basically Shein for babies. I found her this stinking cute dress for like $4, and then I found her this cute pair of white shoes off of Amazon that matched the dress, and I obviously made her flower crown for the party, so she had that. So the wings that I found for Charlie were on Etsy, and the site was OneTrueWish, and the maker is Lori, and she nailed it. She hand makes all of this stuff. I will say that you can get wings for cheaper. These were a little bit more pricey, but it was so worth it, and I'm so glad that I got them. And the wings were actually so much smaller than I realized they were gonna be. She had them wrapped up so nicely so they wouldn't get damaged or messed up. They got to me super quick, but I think my favorite part about the wings were the fact that they didn't have straps on them that go around the shoulders like most wings do. This had like a little clip on the back of the wings, so the wings themselves just clip on the back of your clothing. So I just hooked the wings to the back of Charlie's dress so she couldn't reach the wings. So they didn't bother her throughout the day. She wasn't tugging on them or pulling on them. They just stayed perfectly on her all day long. They were so cute. And I will say that when you purchase from Lori, I believe there's an option for you to purchase a flower crown and a wand with these wings. I will link her Etsy account down below for you guys if you want to check it out. It was so stinking cute and they were perfect. All right guys, I think we finally made it to the end of this video. If you are still here, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you're still here, comment butterfly down below. I'm curious to see how many of y'all made it to this part of the video. I'm nervous because I feel like I'm forgetting something, but like I said, I will have everything that I have mentioned linked down below for you guys. If I forgot something, I will make sure to put that down below as well. I hope this video was successful in helping you plan your kid's first birthday party, if you needed inspiration, if you needed ideas, if you didn't know where to start. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe because it really helps support my channel. I love you so much. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye.
Soon as I saw you, I knew it's never